goodness. And this is the nightmare sight for the Spurs fans to see Duncan down on the floor in pain.
Duncan would miss 12 of the last 16 games of the regular season. But as they looked ahead to the playoffs, the Spurs were still expecting their superstar to help carry them to a championship.
He knows that he's being depended upon, and he doesn't want to let anybody down. He thinks he owes it to his teammates, to the organization, to the game, to the fans, and he wants to be out there if it's at all possible.
After a grueling 82-game regular season, the Spurs are set to start the postseason with a first-round matchup against the Denver Nuggets.
You know, we respected Denver very much. They were the hottest team in the league at the time, and I think had the best record from All-Star break going into the playoffs.
Nuggets on 3. 1, 2, 3.
As the series began, San Antonio's biggest concern was Tim Duncan's ankle. But the questions would be quickly put to rest, and everything was going according to the Spurs' fundamental plan.
They're throwing it back to Duncan, so we got free market, something to get back to Duncan a little bit. They've only made one outside jump shot, Jump. I want them to be jump shooters.
The Spurs would have a comfortable fourth quarter lead, only to see it crumble under an avalanche of missed shots.
Tim Duncan, another miss. The Spurs have not hit from the field in 7.5 minutes.
The San Antonio Spurs are now 3 for 17 in this quarter.
And they've missed 14 consecutive shots.
We were a little bit tight, a little bit tense.
These last 3 minutes could swing this whole series in favor of Denver if they can win this game.
Boykins. Oh, and a big shot by Earl Boykins. Denver closes out the second half on a 10-3 run. A stunning Denver win, 93-87.
Cammy, how big's that?
Big, big, big.
Our first loss against Denver really hurt, you know, and it was just, we realized that we needed to fight, you know, and it was, Denver was for real.
No, man. Why not? Why we can't get 2 down here? Why we can't get 2?
While the Nuggets were gaining confidence, the Spurs were shaking things up. Coach Popovich decided to start Brent Berry in Game 2 and bring his Argentinian all-star off the bench.
I didn't think at the moment that we were doing so many things wrong to be changing pretty dramatically.
But the bold move would pay immediate dividends as Berry delivered some first quarter offense and the Spurs came roaring back in Game 2.
Bruce the other way. He's got Barry to his left. Brent streaks inside. Shot no good. Follow slam. Tim Duncan. And this place is going absolutely bonkers.
And with Manu providing a spark off the bench, the Spurs evened the series, allowing almost everyone in San Antonio to breathe a sigh of relief.
I had a lot of threats from the Argentinian community. I think I saw a big limousine parked outside my house. With the engine still running, the lights were on, I was a little bit nervous about leaving my house at that point. But I think what we needed to do in that series was have Manu come off the bench just to provide us with some punch and some offensive spark, and it worked out well.
They clear the floor for Manu. He'll drive on Miller. Take it down the lane line all the way in. Scoop layup good.
Manu continued to flourish in his new role as sixth man, and the Spurs would reap the benefits as they took control of the series with 2 straight victories in Denver.
The Spurs regain home court advantage. The big star tonight, Manu Ginobili, he scores 32 points.
And having answered their early wake-up call from the Nuggets, the Spurs went on to wrap up the series back home.
That first game really caught our attention, and it might have been the best thing that happened to us in the playoffs.
And the San Antonio Spurs will win 4 straight games to close out the Denver Nuggets and advance to the Western Conference semifinals.
After dispatching the upstart Denver Nuggets in 5 games, the San Antonio Spurs are set to take on the Seattle Sonics. The Sonics got into the second round by dismissing Sacramento in 5 games. In that series, Ray Allen averaged 32 points per game. He will be the focus for the Spurs defense this evening.
But the Spurs had 3 weapons for the Sonics to worry about, and they added up to one explosive start for San Antonio.
He takes it in the lane, gets it to Duncan, slam dunk. Beautiful move by Tony Parker. He's just going where he wants right now. Ginobili thinks about a 3, instead will drive it inside. Manu all the way with the left hand. Lay it up and good. Manu Ginobili with the basket.
And while Allen and the Sonics were struggling to get on track, the Spurs were running right past them, coasting to a 2-0 series lead.
Duncan, lay it up and in. You can't move the ball better than the Spurs did right there.
No, you can't. Memo to Seattle. You're not in Sacramento anymore.
I think we were a little surprised at the level of intensity in the second round. The level of play goes up. And I thought San Antonio came out and did exactly what you would expect a team who's capable of winning a championship to do.
But when the scene shifted to Seattle, the Sonics sent a message that this just might be a series after all.
Screen on a pick and roll. Here he comes. Oh! Stuffs it. Did not see that in the first 2 games in San Antonio.
The Sonics had the lead and a chance at new life, but the Spurs had one more shot.
92-91. Seattle clinging to a 1-point lead. Ginobili looking first at Duncan. Got him. 2.5. Put it up. No. Seattle wins it. The Supersonics survive. Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs.
Everybody thought like after 2-0 that we're going to have an easy job, you know, but they're a really aggressive team, play really physical.
After losing Game 3, the Spurs would lose their grip on the series as Allen stepped forward to put his stamp on Game 4.
So does Ray Allen as he goes airborne for 3, and he sent it in on a rope.
Silky smooth, all velvet. Ray Allen.
Ray got on the magic carpet and threw down with the left hand. Now we've seen it all. A most improbable situation after getting blown out in the first 2 games. The Sonics have tied the series at 2-2.
You told me that you guys as a team were giving them too much respect. You still believe that?
I'll give them no respect. None.
The defiant Sonics had issued a challenge to the Spurs, and back in San Antonio for Game 5, Manu Ginobili would personally answer it.
Ahead to Parker. He finds Ginobili cutting inside. Slam dunk. Wow. Manu steps back for 3. That shot is good. It's a Manu trace. He's hit 4 of them.
How many ways can Manu Ginobili score tonight?
He penetrates and throws his body around and contorts himself and twists and makes seemingly impossible shots look fairly easy. And it's a controlled chaos that only Manu knows what's going on, but it's really something to watch.
Fakes the 3, couple of dribbles against Allen, drives on him. Runner in the lane is good, and he is fouled. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Manu Ginobili Show.
The question was, could the Spurs take their winning show on the road? But as if on cue, Ray Allen took over the stage.
This place has exploded.
With Seattle surging toward a 7th game, Duncan would carry his team. But then, in the 4th quarter, it seemed that the Spurs' worst nightmare was about to come true.
Duncan is writhing in pain, and he is holding the left foot.
I thought we were in big trouble. You know, he's the core and the center of what we do, and it was a frightful time for all of us.
We were, you know, praying for that ankle to be fine.
Though he was hobbled, Duncan would remain on the court right up to the game's critical moments.
Crowd is on their feet at the key. Horry will get the ball. They'll bring it in bounds to the sideline. Ginobili will race out to get it in midcourt.
When you get to this point in the playoffs, it's about big plays. You know what the other team's going to run. They know what you're going to run. So it really just comes down sometimes to a battle of wills.
Ginobili between the rings with 4. Makes his move with 3.
Ginobili to Duncan. Duncan puts it in with 0.5 of a second remaining.
And the Spurs lead 98-96.
Isn't that what championship teams do? They find a way.
Sometimes you can't predict, how things are going to go. You just got to, dig your boots in and get ready for the battle.
Allen comes free, puts up a 3. Oh, it just misses. And the Spurs advance to the conference finals.